In this video, I'm going to prove to you that audio quality is more important than video quality, and then I'm going to show you how to easily get great audio with this tiny new product. Here's a sample of 4K footage shot on the Sony a7S III. This is the camera that I use for the majority of the content, but I'm using the camera's internal microphone to record the audio. And here's a sample of 1080p footage shot on the iPhone 15 Pro Max, which I then have to stretch out and upscale to 4K, but I'm using this tiny little wireless microphone to record the audio. And I want you to ask yourself, overall, which one would you prefer? All right, so this is a Lark M2 from Hollyland. It's a super lightweight wireless microphone that's great for vloggers, YouTubers, or anyone who wants to easily record better audio for their videos. This system can work with cameras, cell phones, action cameras, and even a laptop. And depending on what you need, there are several packages available. Essentially, you get two transmitters with built-in microphones and then your choice of receiver. So the package that I got is the combo version, which has a camera receiver, a lightning receiver for older iPhones, and then a USB-C receiver, which I can use with phones like my S24 Ultra, the Pixel 8 Pro, my iPhone 15 Pro, and even other portable devices like action cams and my Osmo Pocket 3. Now, I own and have used other very similar systems, and I absolutely love how tiny these transmitters are. They only weigh 9 grams, so they don't pull down on your shirt, and they're much less noticeable on screen. Now, with the combo version, you get a case that charges the camera receiver and the two transmitters, and the case itself is charged with a single USB-C cable. Now, I really like the fact that there was no pairing needed, and the first time I opened the case, everything was ready to go and immediately worked. And by the way, the two mobile receivers, the lightning one and then the USB-C one, they don't require charging at all. They just get their power from the device that's being used. So let's start our testing with a couple of phone samples, and as a note, no processing has been done to any of the audio samples. First, let's start with the iPhone 15 Pro Max. This is what it sounds like when I'm using the phone's internal microphone. And this is what it sounds like when I'm using the Lark M2. All I had to do was plug in the receiver and everything works. And I can also double click on the transmitter to start the record. Next, let's test out the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra. Again, we're starting out with the audio coming from the phone's internal microphone. And now we're using the Lark M2, and you should be able to hear a pretty noticeable difference in the quality of the audio. And this is without noise canceling turned on, which is a feature we're going to test in just a moment. And finally, let's test out the Pixel 8 Pro. I have the new mint color, which I absolutely love, and this is using the internal microphone on the phone. And now we're using the Lark M2, and I love the fact that you can actually listen to the playback of the video without having to unplug the receiver. It works. You just hit play and you can hear it through your phone's speakers. It's also important to recognize that this isn't just a problem with cell phones. Like, a lot of people spend a ton of money on their camera, their lenses, their lighting, and a lot of accessories, but then they neglect audio. So here I am using the Sony a7S III. This is about a $3,500 camera, and that's without the lens. And this is what the camera's internal microphone sounds like with sirens in the background. And now we're switching over to the Lark M2. We're using the camera receiver, which is connected with a TRS to TRS cable, and then clips onto the hot shoe of the camera. And now I went ahead and turned on noise cancellation on the transmitter by single clicking the yellow button. This should go ahead and reduce the background noise, so let me know if you're hearing less of it. And this is a super useful feature in helping separate your voice from the ambient sounds. Now, as far as how to attach the microphone, each transmitter has a tiny magnet on the back, and you can easily snap it into place on the collar or anywhere else on the shirt. The kit also comes with two magnetic lanyards, so you can just simply place them around your neck and you're good to go. And there are two magnetic clips if you want to clip the transmitter to something like a hat. Now, if you run into situations where you have to deal with wind, you also get two small dead cats or windscreens, which are going to be a lifesaver for removing wind noise. So first, let's run a baseline test. Again, we're using the camera's internal microphone. It's not super windy, it's just a little bit windy out there. And now we're using the Lark M2, but without the dead cat. I'm trying to point it at the wind to see if we can pick up some of it. But again, this should give you a pretty good idea of what it sounds like without the windscreen. And here's another sample with the dead cat on, which should block some of the wind. This is a little bit of a larger footprint, but the alternative is having completely unusable audio. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and do a distance test. I'm gonna start pretty close to the camera and walk away. Now keep in mind that as I turn around, my body is actually blocking the signal going to the receiver. So we're gonna test it in both directions. So here we go. All right, so now I'm walking away from the camera and I'm gonna walk all the way to the end of the street. You're gonna barely be able to see me when I get there. And this is an interesting test because for how I record my videos, I'm never really that far away from the camera where this would be super useful. But there are tons of other applications where having the freedom to move around, turn away from the camera and still get great audio, this distance is going to be helpful for a lot of other creators. Again, the advantage of having this microphone with you is that you're not tied down to any source. You don't need anyone with a boom microphone walking around and pointing it at you. And the microphone is always with you and it's tiny. I'm almost here to the end of the street. We're gonna get all the way to that sign over there. I'm super curious to know whether or not this cut out. Like if it worked at this distance, I am super far away. So here I am. This is as far as I'm gonna be from the camera. I'm gonna wave. Can you see me? I can barely see the camera, but here I am. And now I'm gonna go ahead and start walking back. If the signal was lost, it'll be interesting to see at what point it picks it back up. Now that my body is no longer blocking that signal, I'm gonna be careful over here crossing the street. Let's make sure that I don't get hit by a car while recording a video, although we'll have it on camera. No, I'm just kidding. So, all right, we're totally safe. Walking back, I'm probably about, I don't know, 50 yards away from the camera, maybe 30, 40, something like that. No measurements here, we're just eyeballing it. And again, at this point, it'll be interesting to see the difference between how far the audio was still connecting when I was walking away versus as I'm walking towards the camera. And again, having this type of versatility just means that you have all the freedom to be super creative with the content that you make. It's so cold. I can barely feel my hands. I can't wait to go inside, but these are the things that we do to get these videos to you. So we appreciate you watching. Now with the charging case that we talked about, this setup is rated for 40 hours of working time, which is a ton. And the whole setup charges to full capacity in less than an hour and a half. The camera receiver has a rotating toggle to easily control gain or volume level, and then an on-off switch and a button that switches from mono to stereo recording. You can connect the camera receiver to your laptop with a USB-C to USB-C cable, which will give you better audio for video calls. It will also help with reducing background noise with the noise canceling feature in case you're taking the call in a public place. Now, something else that I've been doing is using the Lark M2 with my Osmo Pocket 3. And this way I'm getting 24-bit audio from up to 2 sources, and I can connect it directly to the Osmo Pocket 3 or to the optional battery pack. A neat little bonus is that Hollyland includes some stickers in the box, which would let you personalize your transmitter if you want to add a little bit something extra. But personally, I use the black sticker, which helps hide the transmitter even more. So who is this system for? Like I mentioned, there are multiple packages ranging from $139 for the USB-C version, all the way up to $179 to the combo version, which is the one that I've got. And I've got links to all the different packages in the description. And the Lark M2 would be a great option for content creators who want a simple, convenient, plug-and-play system that easily gets them better audio. Hopefully this video was helpful. You know what I always say, buy it nice or buy it twice. Good luck and see you soon.